Hey, what's up guys, it's Nick and welcome back to Assassin's Creed. Now, if you haven't watched the first episode, I'm not exactly sure what you think you're doing here, but you better click off the video right now and watch the first one. In the first episode of this series, I killed my first target of 9 in Damascus, Tamir. Now I'm in Jerusalem and I've just gotten confirmation to kill my second target, Talal. It's time to get hunting. I began by, yet again, listening to a conversation from a far distance with my godlike ears and pickpocketed one of the gentlemen. Well, at least I tried to do that. Instead, I just got chased by guards for a few minutes, upping my kill count and my reward for capture drastically. I then went back to the cozy Assassin's Bureau and told the lonely man of what I knew. I told him that I knew he had a warehouse that he kept slaves in, and well, that's actually pretty much it. So I wasted zero time messing around and went straight to the warehouse. I'm trying to kill this dude as quickly as possible. Today, we're speedrunning murder. Once I got to the warehouse and walked inside, I immediately knew that it was a mistake to walk inside. I saw a bunch of people shackled and caged up, and Talal's silhouette suddenly appeared, talking some shit about wanting to help the people in distress. I went inside the main area of the warehouse and saw that a few measly guards were trying to stand menacingly in the dark. Little do they know who I am. Talal sicked his men on me, and hey, don't say I didn't warn you. After I killed his children, Talal saw what went down and noped the fuck out of there. But I chased his slow ass and eventually caught up to him. All those years of being bullied at track season for being slow finally paid off. After catching him, I sliced him up, and just like Tamir, we went to this in-between world. Before he died, he told me about this brotherhood and again how I didn't know the full story. After my little playdate with Talal, I went back to the bureau to notify the spray paint hair guy of Talal's unexpected passing. I also gave him a bloody feather for proof, but apparently I'm not as sneaky as I look because he told me the whole city already knows, including him somehow, even though I'm not sure how he would even escape this prison. Anyways, he finished scolding me and I was sent back to the guy that probably helped build the ancient pyramids. When I told him that the guy was dead, he was quite pleased, rewarding me with some throwing knives and telling me to fuck off. After that, I rode all the way to my third target in Acre. Once I got there, it had a much more depressing atmosphere than the other places. Something about it just seemed sad, but as always, I sensed good, honest law enforcing men and killed them all, letting a criminal loose, and a bald one at that. I then literally just got in the middle of these scholars and walked on the dead bodies of the soldiers, and they didn't suspect me in the slightest amount. I guess when you're a nerd, you can get away with murder. When I got inside of Acre, I took a quick breather on this bench after my many days of endless killing. I noticed this guy with a peculiarly large nose and tuned in on his podcast. He was talking about how some guards were missing from roof duty, which has absolutely no meaning to me. If I wanted to, I could kill every single person in the city in probably 20 minutes flat. All that gamer grease makes me very powerful. After doing some charity work around the sad town for a bit, I made my way over to another bureau. This one was run by a very old man who was on par with Al Mualim, my boss. Anyways, we wasted no time explaining the details of my next target, whose name is Garnier de Naplouse, which is that he does some pretty shady shit to people in the hospital he works in. More specifically, experiments done on people brought from Jerusalem. Hot take: this guy sucks. Anyways, my plan was to attack him while he was doing one of those mischievous little experiments. Oh, that little rascal, always torturing people in the name of science. When I found the so-called hospital, I saw a guy being restrained by guards, and this is when Garnier came in looking like a horror movie butcher. The patient begged for death, but he was denied his wish. Instead, a guard fucked his legs up and he was dragged away. Trying to follow him, I accidentally brushed by a guard, which is a federal crime with the punishment being death in Acre. Everyone stormed me, including the butcher. I guess it's time for the final fight. After killing most of the bodyguards, I punched Garnier in the stomach, resulting in his death apparently. I must have caused some pretty bad internal bleeding or something. Before he died, Garnier told me that his children, aka his torture patients, would be lost without him. Alright, psychopath, just go to sleep. I guess that's yet another target dead. 3 down, 6 to go. I went back to the bureau and told the nice elderly man of my victory. He told me to fuck right off since he was done with me, and I was taken out of the Animus once again due to overheating. These damn people are so incompetent, I can't just have a single peaceful day of pure killing. Just one uninterrupted Altair day is all I ask for. But I guess that's fucking impossible with these people. Anyways, time to sleep. Once I laid my happy ass back down in the Animus, I was transported back to Masyaf, where Mr. Al told me about 3 more names on the list, all scattered in the 3 cities. I guess Ubisoft didn't want to take the time to make 9 cities, so they just decided to make 3 waves of criminals in the 3 cities. So I set out to kill my next 3 targets, starting in Damascus. Once I snuck into the city, they already knew the deal, and I went straight to Rafik. There, I asked him about a man named Abul Nakud. He told me that Abul was a bad man. No fucking shit, Rafik, I know that. I guess he did make himself a little useful because he told me where I could find people to talk about Abul to give me some information. I thanked him and started to travel that way. And holy shit, I was bloodthirsty because I fought so many guards along the way. Literally half of this game is me making unnecessary fights occur. But after I satiated my hunger, I stopped to do a quick pickpocket. See, it's not all just murder with me, I can also be a lawful citizen as well. I also found another one of those Redditors that have what they call taken the red pill. And so they need to tell the people why they can, in fact, mess with the dog. Anyways, I beat the Discord admin part of his brain out of him and he finally came to his senses. But at that point, he was already too far in and had to be taken out. Then I listened to another conversation, learning that there is a passage leading up to the Merchant King's quarters, whatever that shit means. And finally, I found that the great Merchant King himself is preparing for a feast, thanks to these two lovely gentlemen. I then ran back to talk to my best friend Rafik and told him of the information about this Merchant King. The thing that I like about Rafik is that he is kind to me and he gives me a feather for my troubles. Lol, Raffle, JK, this is just so I can wipe some blood off the guy once he was dead. Anyways, I made my way to this feast on an empty stomach, ready to have a good time. Once I got there, I was making small talk with the ladies of Damascus when the great kind man came out to start the party officially. OMG lols, fooled you guys 2 times in a row now. He straight up fucking poisoned all the drinks and all the people started dropping like flies. Not very kind after all. Apparently, we were gossiping about his rather small stump downstairs, and this meant we all had to die. Yeah, I guess that's not good. Well, time to get to killing. Once he saw that the actual Grim Reaper got past all of his weak bodyguards, he quickly scampered away. And let me tell you, this dude must have been a D1 track star because I could not catch up to him for the life of me. He left me in his dust, leaving me to deal with like 30 soldiers, all kindly taking turns in swinging their swords at me to at least make the fight a little fair. What kind people? But I was able to squeeze past the guards, and after actually throwing some damn knives in his back, he decided to turn and fight me. And he literally lasted like 10 seconds. Once he was about to die, he told me that he did this to weed out some of the bad people in order for the good ones to thrive. So more pseudoscience bullshit. Anyways, I wiped my handkerchief on his wound, probably stopping the blood flow completely and therefore saving his life. After finishing off the rest of his army, I went back excitedly to Rafik, excited to tell him I got the victory royale. He was so happy with me that the quality of his character model got even worse. I didn't even know that was possible, and at that point, you know the drill. Back to Al Capone. Except this time he was admiring his book collection of different copies of the exact same fucking novel. I don't even want to repeat what the damn guy is saying anymore, he's so old that he talks in riddles and shit. It gets real annoying real fast when you're not smart. I was so pissed off with the complexity of his speech that I couldn't spend another minute inside there and left almost immediately for my next target. Assassination is the only thing keeping me going anymore, it's my only purpose. So I went back to Acre and just didn't give a fuck about being even remotely stealthy anymore. I was so fed up with this shit that I ran right into the city gates with my horse and I just strolled right on in, tackling everyone out of the way in the process. I mean, after all this chaos caused, you would think I would be the world's most wanted criminal. Like, at least notice my clothes or something. It's not that difficult because I clearly don't shower, so you can probably smell me coming from a city away. Well, back to the bureau, I guess. And this one's got the smelly old guy too, so I'm about to get bullied. Well, I asked a senile elderly man about my next target, William, and he told me that he was left in charge after the king left the city for vacation in Hawaii. So I went out to do some detective work and see if I could smell the shit of William, maybe to sense if he was nearby. Let's see. Well, the first guy was really important because I pickpocketed him because I heard he had secret footage of the new My Little Pony movie. I had to get my hands on it. I then tried to jump from what is probably the highest point in the game, as it is very chilly and hard to breathe up here. I then jumped hoping to fall on some hay, and did not fall on some hay. I may or may not have broken something. When I was resurrected, I found another blubbering fool and stared at him blankly until he felt too uncomfortable to continue. I then literally started picking a fight with him in the middle of a crowd and interrogated him there too. And after I got some useful information from him, I made a public execution. After traumatizing some of the citizens, I speed ran over to the final investigation, another pickpocketing job. After finishing my tedious task, I went back to tell Scoliosis Man of my new findings. You know, I'm beginning to notice a very repetitive pattern here, but I can't quite put my finger on what. And then I was on my way. It's time to die, William. On my way, I did some rooftop parkour and recorded with my GoPro so I can make one of those POV running from the cops on rooftop videos. except this one is very real and involves gore. Then I went down and saw just what the fuck was up with William these days. I saw him arguing with some dudes on a horse, clearly looking much more powerful than him. Pouting in anger, William stormed off and I followed after him. I silently and methodically took out his rooftop guards, making sure no human surveillance cameras were watching me when I killed this guy. After weeding out those annoying dudes, and then picking a fight with a bunch of other bald men, I finally found William all alone and we fought to the death. Or he fought me to his death. And as he was laying on the ground, I gave him a slap on the wrist and the boo-boo was big enough to finish him off. I mean, I know I won a few slapping competitions back in the day, but I didn't think it was that severe. And just take a wild guess at where I went next. Would you believe you if I said that I went to the Assassin's Bureau? Well, that is just exactly what I did, and somehow the guy's posture had gotten worse. But I told him exactly what happened and we parted ways. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really loving this series so far. If you guys like this video or want to give me any feedback, please leave it down in the comments below because I love reading them. Also, make sure to join my Discord because it's a great way to talk to me or my community. The link is down in the description. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.